So let's start with something simple, okay? Because I think this is like a reasonable entry point. Some of you have never heard of him if you don't know who he is. He's a kickboxing champion, lives in Romania, runs a bunch of businesses, does well for himself. He's funny as hell. Like I see him more as a comic. If you don't think he has a sense of humor, then you need to go watch his interview or when he was on the podcast with Tom Segura, who's a stand-up comic. I mean, he's a buddy of Joe Rogan's. I've seen a bunch of his stand-ups. I think Tom Segura is hilarious. And his wife pointed out, even when he was on that podcast, that she's never seen world-class comics make this guy laugh the way that Tate did. I think he's hilarious. A lot of the stuff that he says is built in character. I've seen him break character from time to time, but I think for the most part, what he says, he truly believes in. Although, some of it is manufactured for some of the stuff that he's doing, right? Yeah, it's called the Your Mom's House podcast. Anyway, so let's play this first one here.
Another thing that a lot of people make a mistake with when I talk to them, like, I have to go to work today. Change your language. I get to go to work today. Imagine you had no job. It'd be worse, right? So you get to go to work. I have to fix the car. At least you have a car. Most people don't got one. I have to go get the kids. You get to go get the kids because you have these beautiful children who love you. People's even their own language is wrong. Maybe I'm completely crazy. Maybe I'm full of shit. But the frames I've installed in my mind are all beneficial to me. If that makes me crazy and full of shit, good. Because I can't become depressed. There's another thing that...
So he gets criticized for saying things like depression isn't real. And I've got a clip here where he talks about it a little bit more, and we'll dive into that. But I kind of place this one front and center because you kind of have to ease into some of the dialogue and sort of conversations that he has, not jump into it too harshly right away, if you know what I'm saying. But all he's really doing here is he's saying, change your mindset. Like if you believe the cup is half full, you're going to have a better attitude on life than looking at everything, pessimistically. There's loads of people out there right now today in the world that love playing the victim card. It's like, oh, poor me. I can never catch a break, blah, blah, fucking blah. And it's like, avoid those people, right? If you can't view the world through a lens of optimism, at the very least, like I'm not saying rose-colored lens and like, pretend anything's rainbows and butterflies, because it ain't, shit ain't really like easy out there. But at least, change your mindset, to the point where it's like, you look at the world through a glass half full sort of lens, and you're going to have a better experience operating in it, is really all that he's saying in this clip over here. So let's pull this out and let's drop in the next one here. What do we have on this one? Okay, so this is a clip that he did with Dave Portnoy, I think is his name, from what's the show called? Barstool Sports or something like that. It's a strange podcast because it has like very little to do with talking about sports, but it's actually pretty funny. So let's throw this one up and throw this clip where he's talking about he's not sexist, but he's a realist. So here we go.
Pressure, I hate women. I mean, we can attempt to label me with that all we want. I'm happy to discuss that. This impression, I hate women. I mean, we can attempt to label me with that all we want. I'm happy to discuss that. I absolutely not really love women. I have nothing against women. I believe women are the most precious things on the planet. They create life. They should be protected. They should be provided for. I would never let a woman pay for a bill. If someone touched any of my women, I would stand up against 10 men by myself and risk my life to protect her. I believe that women are beautiful creatures. I just don't think that they're as emotionally calm as men in stressful situations. I don't think they can fight like a man can. And for the same reason, I would never drop my children in an all-male nursery. I think that's strange and weird. I would only drop them in an all-female nursery. Women do certain things and men do certain things. And we live in a world now where the whole idea of the roles has been conflated to the fact where if I come along and say women are better with children and men are better at fighting, I'm somehow fucking sexist when it's clearly true. There's nothing wrong with stating the facts.
Yeah, so in this clip, he's stating facts, right? Why would you drop off your kid at a nursery that would be run by dudes? Like, he's right. Like that would feel weird. The same way that even as a father to a kid, if you're doing something, parenting wise with a small child, let's say a 3-year-old or something like that, other parents, especially moms, they're very protective of their kids, and they don't want an adult male, even if they're a father with a small child around. Clearly that's theirs around their kid alone. That's just how society operates. But we can't say things. And one of the points that he was making in this clip, and it didn't show up in that clip, I don't think, was they were talking about female pilots. And at some point he said something along the lines of, if I see a female pilot on a plane, I'm basically not happy. I'd rather have a male pilot because they deal better in stressful, rational situations. And what's wrong with that? You know, another argument that was tied into that, I think, was women aren't as great behind the wheel of a car as what a guy is. And I made this argument. It's like every single chick they've ever dated has always had scratches, dings, dents in their car, bumpers hanging off a little bit, whatever, you know, they back into something, they don't see it, whatever. Like this is how women drive. It's like, but then people argue and say, well, why do they have lower insurance rates? Well, probably because they're not claiming the damage that's still on their car because of the deductible and it's too much and they just leave it on the car because it doesn't matter, right? They're not like guys where guys take pride in ownership in a vehicle. Car guys anyway, you know, if they have a nice car, they take pride in ownership of vehicles. If it's a scratch or a ding or something happens, it's fixed automatically. I remember this lady backed up on a ramp on the hood of my R8. If you guys have followed my channel for a while, you know that I had it was a 2011 V10 manual, beautiful Spider. Lady backed up to it on a ramp and put a little dent just above the emblem. And I was furious, man. But it had to get fixed. Cost $26,000 to the insurance company to fix a little dent just above the emblem on an R8. But they, you know, have to repaint everything. They got to change the hinges, the latches, the clips, and everything. You know, part of the headlight bezel, just minor stuff. But it got done, and I paid the $1,000 deductible because I wouldn't drive around in a nice car with a dent in it. But women all the time, and you know, you can argue with me all you want, you know, it's true, but women all the time will drive around in a car that's got dents, dings, you know, bumper damage, stuff like that, just because they don't really care, right? Well, you know, like it is what it is. But in a stressful situation, women generally don't have it as together as a guy does. Just being honest, right? I mean, they'll freak out, you know, like I've been camping, right? I used to do work when I was 16 up in Northern Ontario for the Ministry of Natural Resources one summer. And if there was any women remotely around things like a bear or some like random animal or something, they'd freak out. They'd have like a meltdown, a spaz. Whereas guys are just like, yeah, whatever, you know, this is what you do. Put your hands up, look big, blah, blah, walk away sort of thing. It's like, you know, you're at the bear dump. You just kind of like make your way out. But they're not as rational as guys are. So that's really the argument that he's making. He's basically saying, you know, I'm not sexist for saying these things. I'm just saying, you know, facts that I'm observing, which I agree with. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that. It's just being like, you know, real to the point is what it is. Hey guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that short clip. If you did, consider supporting the creation of content by checking out my supplement line. Pinned in the top comment below of this video in the comments, there's a link to the unpluggedalpha.com/shop. When you click through, you'll be able to land over here, and the entire lineup is broken down by category that it performs best in: estrogen metabolism, fat burning, your foundational essentials for health, immune health, performance, and testosterone support. If you check out with coupon code ALPHA10, you'll get 10% off on your first order. There's also the option to use the subscribe and save model, where regular shipments will be sent over to you on a regular basis, and that gives you a little bit of a discount, and your supplement facts are always broken down over here. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have an awesome day. And again, check out that link. It's pinned in the top comment below in this video. Peace out.